Doug, let's go through Josh's bike from front to back, yeah?
Okay, let's do it.
Handlebars, carbon handlebars, what are we talking in rise and width?
You've got 800 width handlebars, NV, carbon. To be honest, I'm not sure exact rise, but it's the low rise. It's the downhill bar.
Yeah.
And from there we'll have running a Bergtech stem.
Yeah. What's that? This looks like what length is
It's
that?
it's a 60 mil.
Yeah.
Flat crown on the top, 15 mil between the headset, upper cap, and the top crown.
Does Josh change the kind of the settings on the spacing on the
He
height of the bar?
actually totally changed his bike from his Leo Gang setup to here. He was running a Chris King Buzzworks offset headset, which gives you 8 millimeters of forward.
Yeah.
And he opted to go with a normal Chris King headset, put everything back to normal, and it's just running a stock large frame now with a stock headset.
Yeah. And what about the height from bar to floor? He's changed that for this weekend, hasn't he?
I think it's gone down just a little bit. I'd have to put a tape on it to see.
What was his thinking behind that?
He just wanted to be able to get his, wanted to be on top of the bike.
Yeah.
And
More weight on the front tire.
he just was feeling he wasn't feeling quite right. The way this track is, it's so loose. Yeah. And the turns and everything, he just felt like he needed to be in the bike mode.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the suspension. Let's go to the front forks. Stock 40s. I mean, where does Josh run the dials generally? Kind of.
As far, pretty much just midway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah. And what about the rear shock? What spring is he on this?
He's running a 550 spring.
Yeah.
And it's one of the new Fox springs, so it's a hollow steel.
Yeah. Standard length.
Standard length.
Yeah. He didn't ever kind of use any kind of different kind of offsets or anything like that on the bike?
No. Quite happy with the setup.
Yeah.
8.5 travel.
Yeah. Okay, wheels, Doug. Lot of talk about wheels. Now you kind of you build all Josh's wheels.
I do.
And what way do you build them up?
I like to go with a 3-cross. It gives the wheel a little bit more resiliency. Mm-hmm. So it just gives it a little bit more resiliency. Yeah. Takes up the load a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a pretty big rim, isn't it? That NG rim.
The M90 is. It's really stiff. It's really easy to build. There's carbon rims are way easier to build than an alloy rim.
And we're on 32, yeah.
32 hole.
Right. Okay. And rim width?
Rim width 32.
Okay, nice one.
That's what it says.
Do you ever kind of change the sort of tensions for different tracks and stuff like that?
I don't. I like to just make sure the wheel, if the rider complains about too stiff of a wheel, I might maybe loosen it up a little bit, but no, I have a certain feel that I like to build a wheel, and so that's the way I go. Yeah. Josh always starts off on a high roller 2. That's his base point. We actually went to shorties on this track, and they floated too much. The high roller 2 gets a little bit better bite, so we went back to high roller 2, and it seems to be working good for him.
Yeah. And the short was a standard shorty, or you cut down? Or?
No, we've always just gone with a standard shorty. We've cut down sometimes, but Josh usually just likes to go with the standard.
Okay. So you don't ever run anything like any alternative tires like Minions? Or
we do. We run a Minion with a special Josh cut. We cut the outer knobs just so it has better bite as well.
And when would you use this tire like that? What kind of track?
We've used them for Leo Gang. Yeah. We used it on the back at Leo Gang and a high roller 2 in the front.
Yeah. Pressures, Doug?
Pressures can be all over the map, but usually around 30 pounds, sometimes 31. Today we ran 30 in the rear and 29 in the front. And tomorrow we're actually going to drop the PSI.
Yeah. For what reason?
Just because it's so darn loose up there. We need to try and find some grip. You need to try and stay on line. You don't want to get drifted out on the side. If you can hold your line, you're probably going to get a good run.
Yeah. Can I just backpedal a little bit to the levers? He runs his levers at a kind of, what would you say, 4 o'clock position? They're quite pointed down, aren't they?
Yeah. He runs them a little bit farther down than I probably would, but you get used to them. And then that's one thing is.
Does that ever freak you out?
You almost get used to anything. So I mean, if you ran yours that way for a long time, put them back up, they'd feel weird. So.
Do you ever tell him?
No.
To change his position?
No, I don't tell Josh. No, I'll let him tell me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Doug. What about brake setup? We're on Saints.
So
yeah.
we
200.
normally like to run the metal pad. Josh is pretty happy with that. But this track, it's a lot of braking, and metal pads get pretty hot. So we're actually running resin pads in the rear and metal pads in the front.
Right,
But
okay.
the resin pads do feel a little grabbier, and he's not quite happy with the way they feel in the front, so that's why we're running the metal.
Right, okay.
He does.
On the knuckles.
Quite a bit difference between him and Menard. Menard
Yeah.
has the super touchy,
Yeah.
and then Josh has a lot of play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, transmission. We talked about this yesterday. Where are we at with the transmission?
So running 1125, 10 speed in the rear, and
What type cassette?
This is pardon.
What type cassette?
This is the Ultegra, Shimano Ultegra cassette. You see, that's what we've been running pretty much the whole time I've been on the Seneca program with the Shimano group. And on the front, we actually needed to make the things more compact. There were some rocks up there causing some damage. So we went with the E13 turbo plate on the chain guide. And we're running a 37 tooth chain ring.
Yeah.
So it's actually goes up to 36, but we can actually fit a 37 on. But there's not a lot of pedaling on this track anyway. This track you could probably get away with another chainless run, but I think there is some pedaling involved, and if you want to run the biggest gear you can just to stay on top of it, that's why we went 37 instead of 36.
His seat height, does he ever change his seat height?
Yes, he does. But this track, again, he wants to keep his center of gravity low.
Right.
And so his seat's down pretty low, and that causes problems with tire buzz on the seat, so we run the WTB high back seat.
Okay, right.
And we haven't had a problem since.
Yeah. Okay, so we covered pretty much there. So the frame is a standard size large.
Yes.
V10. That's about it, Doug, isn't it?
Sounds good. I can't think of too much else. But yeah, Josh is doing good today.
Yeah, great. Thanks for talking us through that.
You got it.